Welcome to Autodesk Inventor 2015. In this video we are going to look at how to make a hole in the body of the mallet head so that the mallet handle can be attached. I'm using Autodesk Inventor 2015. I found some of the features are slightly different than earlier versions of Autodesk. So really what we're going to do here today works best if you have Autodesk Inventor 2015. The real challenge is trying to find a way to draw on a curved surface, which is the mallet head, this main section of the mallet head in particular. Like anything in Autodesk, there's probably 5 different ways to do it, and through experimentation I'm going to show you what I found is the easiest way to get this done. We start by going up to the top toolbar, we find the word plane, and this is going to help us choose a work plane or a flat surface to put on that curved shape, and we can draw on the flat surface. So go ahead, click on the word plane, and then click on the main body of the mallet head, that middle section. It should become highlighted, and then you know you've selected it. Step 2, we are going to this left toolbar, and we're going to find the origin folder. If you click on the plus sign in front of the origin folder, it's going to let you choose which work plane you want to draw on. We want to find one that goes from the top to the bottom right through this mallet head. This one seems to go right to the top to the bottom. It's the XY plane, so I'm going to click on that. I now notice that a work plane has come to the edge of the mallet head, and if I move my mouse right to the edge of that work plane, it's highlighted and I can click on it. So let's do that. Now I get a little icon in the middle of the screen, and if I click that, I can create a sketch and start to sketch on it. Alright, so let me go through that one last time very quickly. Alright, here's where I was to start with. Click plane in the top toolbar, then the main body of the mallet head. I go to the left hand side, find the origin folder and click the plus sign, and then I go down and find the plane, that window that appears right through the mallet. I click on that, move my mouse over to that window that appeared on my screen. When I get to the very edge and I notice it changes color, I can click and then press Create Sketch. Alright, I'm ready to draw. Let me center this a little bit. This is a pretty easy process. Along the toolbar at the top, right underneath the word text, I can find the word point. And this is what we're going to use. All we have to do is put one point, one little bullseye mark, where we want to put that hole in the mallet. So I click point, I move right on the origin, which should be the center of the mallet head, and click once. It's barely noticeable. If I scroll in, you may or may not be able to see a little bullseye crosshairs right at that origin point. That's all I need. Now I click Finish Sketch. Along the top toolbar next, I find the word hole. I want to put a hole in that mallet head, so I click on that, and I should notice that since there's only one point, Autodesk assumes that that point is where I want to put the hole. Okay? For this mallet head, we want it threaded, so along these bottom row of radio buttons, little selections, I'm going to choose the one right here that shows that it's threaded. So go ahead and click on that. Now I have more options down here at the bottom menu. First thing I'm going to say is the size of this hole. When I made the mallet handle, it was 0.625 inches in diameter. So I'm going to go up and find 0.625. I notice that the hole is a lot larger now, and it should have threads when I click the OK button. The last thing I have to change is the depth. 1.705 inches is what the default depth is, and that's going to be a little too much. So you may have to put a different amount here depending on what your instructor asks. We usually go with 1 inch. So I can type 1 inch into this little window, press OK, and now I should notice that there's a threaded hole in the mallet head. One last step to clean it up is to get rid of this window, this work plane. This is very easy. We go over to the side, we find the work plane. When I move my mouse over the word work plane, it should highlight on the screen. I'm going to use the right mouse button, the lesser used mouse button. So click the right mouse button, find the word visibility, and when you click that, it should go away. There you go, what I found to be the simplest way for us to make the threaded hole in the mallet head.